Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. We're here today to talk about our favorite players from each team in the Pacific Division. Now we've done the Atlantic, we've done the Metro, and we've done the Central. So this is going to be our last video of this series. We're going to talk about the Pacific Division. So let's start off with Anaheim. Who's your favorite player from Anaheim?
Ryan Getzlaf.
Ryan Getzlaf, yeah.
He's a hard-nosed player, and he is a key component to any success Anaheim has had since he was drafted.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal year this year.
Yeah, he really did.
Especially in the playoffs.
And he's a very consistent player.
Very consistent.
Although this year they did have a little bit of a cold spell, he and Corey Perry, but they really turned it around at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite player is Rickard Rakell. He is my top three. He's in the third position, of my favorite players in the National Hockey League. I think he's extremely underrated. In fact, I think he's the most underrated player in the National Hockey League. He scored over 30 goals this year. He was dynamite, and I just love the guy.
Yeah, no, a solid argument could be made there for the most underappreciated, I think.
Excellent. All right, well, my dad has filmed his choices as well, so let's check out what he has to say.
From the 2016-2017 regular season, I have a few favorite players that I've come to watch and enjoy playing hockey. I haven't watched very many Pacific teams because of the time zone thing. I'm from the East Coast. I live just across the river from Charlottetown, PEI. So West Coast games that start, even at a normal time for Anaheim or San Jose or LA or Vancouver are like 11 o'clock at night for me. So during the weekdays especially, forget it. But I do watch highlights and I follow hockey fairly closely. The following day reading online what happened in the games, so I am somewhat familiar. And of course the playoff run for the Anaheim Ducks, for instance, showed me Richard Rakell. Very good player. I think I agree with Neil on that. I think Neil mentioned him a while ago as an unsung hero or a sleeper player who's done very well. He's 24 years old. He's a Swede, plays center, and he was a first-round draft pick, and he's proven to be a very good pick and playing well for Anaheim.
All right, next on the list is Edmonton, a Canadian team. So who's your favorite player off Edmonton?
Surprise, surprise, it's Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid, yeah.
He's the next one. He's already shown those flashes of brilliance that he's going to be just as good, if not better, than the last one, which was Sidney Crosby. And every year he's just getting better. I mean, if you look at the first season, there's an injury there, kind of held him back a little bit. He's the only guy this year who scored 100 points. He won the Art Ross, and next year he's only going to surpass that even more. Anytime he's on the ice, something's going to happen because he'll create something out of nothing. He is the future of the NHL.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Except for I don't agree on my favorite player because I chose Patrick Maroon. I love the guy. When he played for Anaheim, I was a big fan. I followed him to Edmonton. He plays a big physical game. He'll fight. He'll score. And he had a great season this year, probably much to do with Connor McDavid. But yeah, I really like Patrick Maroon. Yeah.
Edmonton, wow. Edmonton's got a lot to pick from. I think, this probably makes less hockey sense. I like Oscar Klefbom because of his name. I mean, what a great name for a hockey player. He's back there in the blue line. He's pounding those shots in. And to have a name like Klefbom, you can write a song about that and have Tom Jones sing it. It'd be awesome. Anyway, I just like the name, and he's a good hockey player as well. 6'3", 23 years old. He's got lots of future, and hopefully a very bright future with the Edmonton Oilers. A team to me that looks very stacked for a long, dominant presence in the NHL in the coming seasons.
All right, next on the list is San Jose.
Joe Thornton.
Big Joe.
Big Joe. And he's one of those guys who sadly could end up hanging them up and not winning a Stanley Cup. San Jose really had their shot last year. Unfortunately, everything was really rolling for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and San Jose just, couldn't overcome them. I've always respected him over all the years, and I think it would have been 97, 98, right in that zone, that he came into the NHL. And I remember there was a lot of buzz on him.
Oh, huge.
When he first came in with the Bruins organization and so on. And I think there was a lot of Boston fans that were upset to see that kind of fall apart and him go out west to San Jose. He's a very consistent player, and to me, he's one of the premier playmakers still in the NHL, even given his age.
He's the best assist master in the league. He's a setup king. He's great at it.
He was the last guy to surpass 90 assists in the season.
Unbelievable. My favorite player is Patrick Marleau, another one of those people who may not win a Stanley Cup by the end of their career. He, great player. I think a very underrated player over the past 20 years or 17 years, however long he's been in the league. He's had many, trips with Canada to the Olympics. Such a key player for Canada. as well as San Jose. So he's my favorite player.
San Jose Sharks, I think I've always liked and will always like Brent Burns. He's got a fantastic attitude. People think, they see the beard, but I think there's a guy behind that beard who's having a lot of fun. He's huge. He's 6'5", from Barrie, Ontario. Big Canadian boy, as Don Cherry would say, putting up big numbers. And in the playoffs last year, not so much the 2016-2017 season, but in the previous playoff round, he put up a point per game in the playoffs. And that's big numbers when you're grinding hard in a playoff series that went several series for the San Jose Sharks, as we know. So Brent Burns, he would be my guy.
All right, next up is another Canadian team. It's Calgary. Who's your favorite player off Calgary?
Monahan.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. There it is again.
There it
Nice. It just comes out. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But no, I really like Monahan. He's another guy that just shows that consistency, if not to the point where he's getting better season over season. I mean, to me, he's still in developmental ages, but he's really starting to solidify himself as a dominant force up front for the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, if you just look at his numbers, he keeps improving and improving and improving.
Yeah, he really
he's very
does.
consistent, and he's just he had a great year this year.
Yeah,
so.
the future's bright for him.
Absolutely.
For the Calgary Flames, I like Johnny Gaudreau. He's a great energy player. He's not big at all. He's 5'9". He weighs, officially he's less than 160 pounds. But despite that, he has 18 goals, 43 assists, and only 4 penalty minutes playing for Calgary in the last regular season. Just a young guy, 23 years old, full of spark. I really like Gaudreau. I think Calgary's lucky to have him.
All right, next up is the Los Angeles Kings, and I bet I can choose your favorite player. Is it Drew Doughty?
It is.
It is.
It's Drew Doughty, because he is my favorite defenseman in the entire NHL, Drew Doughty. And he is hilarious.
Yeah.
If you ever come across sound clips of him on the ice taunting the opposition, the stuff that comes out of his mouth, I don't even know how he thinks this stuff up at times.
Yeah, I don't think you can dislike Drew Doughty.
Yeah, he's a very
such
comical
funny guy.
Yeah, and he's a solid guy as well. I mean, you don't hear all the time of Drew Doughty injuries. He's a very tough individual, very tough. And he's a hard-nosed defenseman if he wants to be, and he's a very offensively capable defenseman at the same time as well. Love Drew Doughty.
Absolutely. My choice is Anze Kopitar. He plays a very good two-way game. He's, again, one of these setup kings. His playmaking abilities are through the roof.
On the LA Kings, I think the player that I like the most of the time, is Drew Doughty. I don't always like Drew Doughty. I don't like every single thing he does, but generally speaking, again, if I think of the team that I would want to see on the ice representing my ownership, and there's a minute left and we're a goal up and the other team is ahead or behind rather, and they have their goalie pulled, I think Drew Doughty is one of the players I'd want to have on the ice for my team. From London, Ontario, he's played 9 seasons now. It's hard to believe. I remember seeing him in junior. Now he's got 9 seasons under his belt. He's 27 years old, but still has a lot of life left in him. So hopefully Doughty will continue to be the kind of player he's been in the past.
All right, moving on to Arizona. Favorite player from Arizona?
Domi.
Yeah,
Domi.
He plays a big game.
Yeah, he does for a small guy, but hey, it's in the genes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his dad was the exact same way. He's a very hard-nosed player, and to me, he shows flashes of offensive brilliance at times.
He's very talented.
Yeah, and I think over the next several years, you're going to see his stock really rise, and he's going to develop into a very hard-nosed two-way player.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm okay with that choice. Although I did choose Shane Doan as my favorite player. I've been following Shane Doan's career since he was in, the original Winnipeg Jets. Right. I think he's the last surviving, not the last surviving player, but the last current still playing player from that organization. He's done so much for the city of Arizona. Right. He's done so much for the team. He's a great leader, and he's a really nice guy. I really like Shane Doan.
Arizona, I have to give it to Shane Doan. I think the last original Winnipeg Jet who's still playing hockey. I'm not original Winnipeg Jet, but the last of the previous Winnipeg Jets is still playing hockey. I may be mistaken in that, but he has won awards for leadership over the years. He's not the youngest guy in the face of the earth, but he's still only 40, and when you've got Jaromir Jagr out there, you've got something to shoot for. He's 45. But Shane Doan, obviously has provided a lot to the Winnipeg organization, and especially to the Phoenix and Arizona organizations. Over the years, he's been a very steady player and a great leader for that team. And
last on the list, and to round out this series, Vancouver. Who's your favorite player from Vancouver?
This was the one I had the most difficulty with, and I ultimately went with Horvat.
Yeah, me too. Bo Horvat's my favorite player. Yeah.
There it is again. Nice.
Nice.
I really think he's kind of in the Ricard Raquel conversation for guys that just aren't getting the credit that they deserve for what they bring to their team, what they bring to the ice night in, night out. And to me, he's going to be a centerpiece if Vancouver is going to be looking at doing a rebuild over the next, say, 3, 4, 5 years. He's going to be a key piece that has to stick around.
If Vancouver can do it right and rebuild it properly over the next 3 to 5 years, they could be a very scary team. And if they make their smart draft choices and stuff, Vancouver could be very competitive in about 5 years. So
it would be nice to see.
It would be nice to see, even though we're not huge Vancouver fans.
No,
Vancouver's Canadian team, so we always want to see success there.
Yes.
So,
and finally, for Vancouver, I'm going to pick Evan McEnany. Why? Because there's nobody on Vancouver that I particularly like. Evan McEnany played one game for the Vancouver Canucks. He's just a young guy, 23 years old. He plays left defense. He's from Hamilton, Ontario. He's played one game in his life in the NHL, and he's played it for the Vancouver Canucks. And I'm just calling him out as my favorite player for the Vancouver Canucks. I hope he plays next year, and I'll be watching him because, when you've got that one game, the most desperate belief you have is that you have to get that second game, and maybe that'll come in the 2017-2018 season for Evan McEnany. Go for it.
Yeah, that rounds out this series. We've done the Metro, the Atlantic, the Central, now Pacific. We're all done. Hope you guys enjoyed this series of videos. If you haven't watched the others, definitely go check those out. If you like this video, hit the like button and let us know down below in the comment section your favorite player from each of these teams in the Pacific Division. We absolutely want to know. Otherwise, if you're new to this channel, hope you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the future video. Adios. Hello and... Oh, nope. I'm going to change my hat.
Hello and no.
Pacific teams. Nope.
Anaheim.
That had a
Yeah, you've worn that in videos before.